Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name's Arnaldo and this is Articulture. Today I have for you my Geometric Desert Scape that I've been working on. It's been a labor of love, but I will go through all the details for you. So everything that you see here, I've created concrete sculptures. The planters, I've created them all. I've made them all out of concrete, and the concrete tiles as well. The concrete tiles, I have a silicone mold that I've been using to create them, and I will show you later the mold so you can see and you can get an idea of how that's been done. And then I've mounted wall-mounted planters to utilize the full space, so to utilize the complete wall. So the important thing is to, whatever space you have, utilize your full space. Use the wall, use the complete wall by mounting wall-mounted planters. You can also hang if you have a space for hanging planters like I've done here. Doing things in multi-levels. Fill in the whole space, because no matter how small it is, it's going to make the space look a lot larger. So, you know, using everything, adding sculptural elements so that it's interesting. Use the things that you like. Give yourself a sanctuary. Add the things that give you joy, the plants that you really enjoy, the plants that you love. Of course, what plants grow well in your zone. I'm in zone 10B, which is South Florida. So luckily for me, I'm able to grow plants that I actually really love. So I have mainly Mangave, Agave, Cacti, and Succulents in my whole area. Sorry about the noise, guys. Desert rose. So understanding the climate and the area that you have. So that a really important thing is understanding your microclimate. So if you understand your microclimate, it will really determine how well you do with growing your plants. So knowing when the sun comes in, the sun and the shade, the times of the day, how much sun your plant is going to get, because obviously your plant grows depending on the sun it gets or the lack thereof. So yes, so understanding your sun. In my case, what I've done is, because I live in South Florida and it is so hot, the sun can be really too much. I have added elements to actually create my own microclimates, and of course you can do that as well. So I have a pergola that I built here, and then that will give shade throughout the day in different areas, depending on where the sun is located. So for me, the best thing was that at the midday point when the sun is here, it will give shade to this area and my plants can do much better, because otherwise it would be too hot. And I also included a sunshade, which also is helping a lot because it gives sun. Now is morning, so now it's okay that the sun is over to the east and it is not really affecting, but in the midday it creates a perfect shade spot here. And then as you move throughout the day, the sun goes a lot more west and it's actually less intense too, and it's actually a good sun. Morning sun is fantastic, late day sun is great. The thing with the sun will set over here in the west, and this will all be in shade anyway. So they get the morning sun, they get some midday sun, but the evening sun, when it's over here, because of the fence and because of the location, this will all be in shade, so they get a break. So you want to kind of give your plants, even if they're sun loving, even if they're like agave or what they say are full sun plants, they really would enjoy a little bit of a break from the sun. It's a little too much for them to get sun all the time, so they might get sunburn and they might get damaged. So what I have to say is, you know, have fun, be creative, depending on what your style is. If your style is cottage garden, whimsical, modern, in my case I love modern geometric elements, but definitely include sculptural elements, include the plants that you love, rocks, and you know, and the colors as well. Mix in different shades, different tones to make it much more interesting. If you put it all in one color, then you know it would be kind of boring. So this makes it a lot more interesting to the eye. So as you can see here, these are my sculptures that I made, and I will have a tutorial on making the sculptures. So yeah, so the sculptures, I actually will have a tutorial on making the planters separate from a tutorial on making the sculptures. You'd be surprised how easy it is to make these sculptures. I've made these sculptures from molds that I just made from like the dollar store or Home Depot. But I'll give you those tips later when I show you and how to create all the levels and all the colors and all the pigmentation tones. And again, of course, I'll show you the mold for the concrete tiles. But speaking of climates, I wanted to show you guys the difference that a microclimate can be just as much as under the rock, like these echeverias that are right here. Echeverias, you know, succulents like light, they like bright light, they like a lot of it, and some are a little bit sun loving. But honestly, the succulents will burn if they're in full sun. So just by having them here in this little spot under the rock, they get just enough shade to be able to grow and be really happy and thrive. So another example of a plant that's super happy where I've placed it. And again, that's, you know, that's something that you have to do. You have to try, it's trial and error to figure out where your plants are going to be the happiest. But this beautiful jade plant, which I've had for years, and you can tell by looking at the woody stem, you can tell that I've had her for a few years. And I've had her in a couple of other areas in my garden, and she hasn't really been that happy, but she has survived and she has thrived, and you know. But what I'm saying is I put her here and I don't know, she's just thrilled. She's so happy that I put her here. All of a sudden she has completely come out with little brand new little leaves throughout, even through the stems where they didn't have leaves because they had fallen out. I guess maybe she was getting too much sun and it was too harsh for her. She has little new leaves coming out. So the whole plant is now super happy, filling up. She's going to be gorgeous now, and it's her location. It's maybe because I showcased her. Maybe she's like #1 now. She's with her family of other plant friends. I don't know, but she's happy. But it's just an example of where a few feet can make such a huge difference in the, you know, the well-being of a plant and how she's going to do in your garden. So yeah, so I'll just kind of go through a little bit and show you. All right, guys, so I'm going to show you some of the plants that I've chosen. So this beautiful little agave with like the little white striations, it almost looks like it's hand painted. It's so adorable, and the super firm leaves. I love it. Slow growing, but you kind of want that with agave. So I live in South Florida, and I have discovered through trial and error and through experience that it's too humid for succulents to be in the ground. So succulents thrive and do well if I have them in pots. They do really great. But I realized, and I lost a few, and that's how you learn to do trial and error, is that if I put them in the ground, it's too wet, it's too humid, we get too much rain, the rain comes all the time, and they don't do well, because succulents actually don't need a lot of water. So like the echeverias and different succulents, they don't need that much water. So yeah, so here I have a little agave, bromeliad. I think this is like a ripsalis and some succulents. Desert rose, this is the perfect time of the year for desert rose. We're in spring now, and the desert roses bloom and they look their best. I've had this one for a few years. I'm going to have an episode explaining on desert rose care, because you definitely want to lift her up off the ground every year a little bit, and it starts showing the beautiful roots, and it just really showcases the plant a lot better. These are the little fire stick euphorbia pieces that I got from my brother's one that he gave me, and I just cut them from the bottom and put them in the pot, and they're doing really well. And then I have a little yucca here, again the jade, this beautiful, I forgot exactly her name, but this little cacti always blooms throughout the whole year, so it's beautiful to have a little pop of color in your garden. And speaking of pop of color, these little guys here, I just put these here just to show you an example of how you can use even the window and put a couple of hanging planters, and you get a little pop of color as well. And those are kalanchoe, yellow blooming kalanchoe, and they bloom a lot as well. They continue to bloom. And then I have another, I think this is a yucca, aloe, and a little crassula jade. And then this is the fire stick euphorbia that I got from my brother, the large one. And she's starting to do better. She's doing well. She's going to be fine. What happens is that my brother cut her off of a really big mother plant. So, but she'll come back. And then again, a little bit of more tiling on the wall with some cute little succulents, these little echeverias. And these actually love the sun, so they do really, really well. But yeah, so I just wanted to show you the full area. And so yeah, I just wanted to say, make it a destination, a retreat for yourself. It gives me so much joy to come out into my garden every day. Do this for yourself. You deserve it. So I hope that by seeing my design and my creations, you get inspired to be creative and do something for yourself in your garden. And remember, even if you don't have an outside area to work with, you can create it in a balcony or even in an inside part of your house. So it doesn't always have to be outside. And I would love to see and hear what you guys have done in your space. So probably my next area that I'm going to work in is my greenhouse, which is empty now. So I have these wonderful IKEA bench shelves, and I also have shelving and some stone pieces to create multi-levels. And then guess what? I don't have plants to put in here, so I get to go plant shopping, which is my favorite thing in the world to do. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in my next episode.